All right, we are live to Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much, Sergio, for joining us today. Sergio is with Old Bahama Bay Resort in the Bahamas, and we're super excited to talk about what's going on after or during or whatever with COVID going on right now and see what those restrictions are and just in general what's going on in the Bahamas. So thank you so much, Sergio, for joining.
Thank you very much for having us. I know I represent Old Bahama Bay Resort, and I'm really happy to be here representing the Bahamas on their behalf. I've grown to cherish that area very much. I've made a lot of friends over there, and almost to the point where it's like I have a second family over there. So I'm always rooting for them and trying to do everything I can to make sure that people know about us and people know how to get to us.
Yeah, no, and it's awesome because I actually came across you guys because of, I just had my Travel Tip Tuesday last week with Cherie with Sky Blue Jet Aviation, and she told me about her partnership with you guys, which is so cool that you guys, are partnering locally with, I know the Bahamas is like our sister, what do we call it? Our sister town or something like that, or sister country. I don't know.
Well, Jensen Beach is actually sister cities with Eleuthera because of the pineapple. So they have a whole pineapple culture over there in Eleuthera.
Yeah, that's what it is. Sister city.
Jensen Beach. So that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And so yeah, Cherie was telling us a little bit about, what they did on their side. With the private plane travel, which I thought was so cool. And then, of course, I wanted to hear it from you guys on your side of things, like what's going on with Bahamas, and I know people are curious about it. So before we get into that really quick, though, tell us how you kind of got into the travel sphere and like just where your background comes from.
So my background is accounting and financial advising. Okay. And that's how I got into travel. I volunteered to help run the boat races in Stewart, and that's how I ended up meeting a few people, and then that led into some other business activities, and all of a sudden they asked me if I could go to the Bahamas and do a review. We're in the Bahamas, and probably 3 or 4 years later they asked me if I wanted to manage the resort, be the executive director. And so since then, I've continued to manage the resort and take on. I wear a lot of hats because when I came on, it was 2017, so it was right after Hurricane Matthew. Hurricane Matthew was in November. Everything was just in a rebuild stage. That was a hurricane that actually hit our side of the island very, very hard, and in a way, I almost felt indebted because it was supposed to come to the Stewart area. It ended up hitting Grand Bahama Island and going north, and so in a way, spiritually, it felt weird, like I was supposed to be there to do something and help. So since then, and now it's been about 3.5 years. 3 years. It's been 3 years now, and I've just grown to love it. I mean, we've gone through our ups and downs even within that time. Last year we had every year pretty much we've had a storm of some sorts, but last year we had Hurricane Dorian, which was catastrophic for the Bahamas, and more so eastern Grand Bahama Island than where we are on our end of the island. But it still affected us in a major way because it closed down our international airport. This was last September. And then we had to climb out of that. We were doing well. We were looking like we were poised to really have a great season. And then March rolls around, and COVID-19 comes out of nowhere. And almost
here we are,
almost like Jason jumping out of the bush. And here we are 3 months later. We've been closed down, but I can't tell you how resilient the people are over there. That's another reason why I love being with them. Everybody's just excited to now have the opportunity to provide people a great time, to provide great hospitality. And that is really, I guess, the best way I could describe the people I work with in the Bahamas, just resilient and just super, super friendly. And they take you in with open arms, and that's why people love coming to Old Bahama Bay. It's not the biggest place, it's not the most well-known place, but it's quaint. It kind of feels like you're in an out island, but you're still 52 miles away from Palm Beach.
Wow. Yeah, no. So you mentioned a couple of different things that I want to highlight on there. I mean, you guys have gone through a huge rebuilding structure just with your airport. You were telling me that your airport over in the Bahamas, the major one, was you guys were rebuilding it, and you guys were probably how close to finishing were you before the last hurricane came?
The island in general was about 80% rebuilt. I mean, even to the point where, people's homes, you could see that they were getting ready to put the last touches on their homes. And then this thing came rolling through. I would say now we're probably back to 50%.
Back to 50%, okay. And then COVID hit.
And then COVID hit. That wasn't that bad of a thing because we took the opportunity, especially at our resort, we took the opportunity to continue to maintain and repair and make better and make improvements. All these things that when we knew we were about to get busy, and all of a sudden we weren't. Now we had all this time on our hands, so we were like, all right, let's paint the marina again.
There you go. That's the best way to utilize your downtime. Honestly, I mean, I've been telling that to people just in general in their lives. Like when you have this downtime, it's time to rebuild and refocus like on your goals and whatever that might be. And for businesses, it's the same thing.
Right.
So, I think that it's really cool, again, that you partnered with Sky Blue Jet Aviation, because now that that's a new program, you were saying that you actually have an airport at your place, right?
Right. So what makes us unique is that not only are we a resort and a marina, but we're actually a port of entry. We're the first closest port of entry to the Treasure Coast and the Palm Beaches. So anybody that comes over, we have immigration and customs right there on site, which means that if they land at our airport, which we have a 6,000-foot runway, they can check in right there. If you're flying from Palm Beach, I've flown over from Palm Beach, and I look forward and I see in 15 minutes, I see the coast of West End Grand Bahama Island. And I look back and I see the coast of Palm Beach.
Wow. That's insane. So how close is that? How many miles?
52 miles.
Wow. That's about how long it takes me to get to Palm Beach. How many miles it takes me to get to West Palm? Yeah, it's like 45 miles from Port St. Lucie.
Between taxiing out and taxiing in, you're probably looking at 40 minutes or so. But and that's a great thing about working with somebody like Sky Blue is that, the type of travel is completely different because, we're all used to commercial travel, where you drive your car and you park it in a long-term parking lot where it costs you $100 to leave it there, and then you dash to check in, and you check in, and then you dash to TSA, and then that throws a different wrench because now you're just sitting there, but you can't dash anymore until you get out of there. And then once you're out of there, you dash again, and who knows what's going to happen after that.
Yeah, no, it's really cool that you have all those aspects right there, like right there at the island and at your facility, at your resort. So we were talking a little bit earlier about how does it compare with flight costs getting over there? So like if we just want to take a regular plane to get over there, and then you guys now have the private plane travel. We were talking a little bit about that and how that might be a little bit more beneficial with coming there. Is there any packages with the actual resort or anything like that?
We do have packages throughout the week where we're doing $175 a night during the week between Monday and Thursday, which is, very reasonable considering it's in the Bahamas. And right now we're trying to work on a few things with Marie over at Sky Blue Aviation packages where we can hopefully bring the price down to about $500 per person on the charter, which means that really, and once you factor everything in, it's a really good deal because normally you would pay in between $300 to $450 to get over there on a commercial flight. You would deal with TSA, you would deal with parking, you would deal with driving, you would deal with getting on a shuttle, all that stuff. And instead, for $500, you can really get a cool experience where you go to a private aviation airport like Stewart, You know, they take care of you, like they roll out the red carpet at Skyview Aviation,
They
get you right
do.
on the plane. All of a sudden, 40 minutes, you're in the Bahamas. You know, our shuttle picks you up. It's a 3-minute drive from our airport to the front desk. You get checked in within an hour and a half. You could be checked into the country, checked into your hotel room, and fishing or snorkeling or whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe all you want to do is go grab a cold drink. And
I know I would be. I'd be like, wait, where's my margarita on the shuttle?
yeah, I can make that happen for you.
Oh, you can make that happen? Well, you hear that, guys? Look at that service. That's so funny. No, I think that's awesome. And I think that there are very few places where that's actually an option, right? So
Yeah.
what places can you fly into right at the resort? And then also get shuttled to the resort itself. And then you have all the luxuries of the resort, which you can't see behind me, but or behind us. There's like a little bit of the resort. We're actually blocking the actual resort.
So that's the shoreline, and behind our my face and your pretty face, there's all the buildings, and they all seem like cottage buildings. There's 6 units to a building. Um, they have pull-out sofas. They have little kitchenettes. So if you want to cook in there, if you go fishing, then you want to come back and cook, you can do that. And but they're all ocean view. Some of them have the pool and then the ocean, but you can see the ocean from any of
Oh,
them.
God forbid you have to see the pool and the ocean.
And the ones on the sides, on the lateral sides, those are absolutely beautiful. The one that my favorite is actually 1171, which is on the bottom floor. It's in the middle. It's the middle unit. There's 3 units per floor. It's in the middle unit, and you step off the back patio onto the beach.
Wow.
Yeah, and it feels like it's yours.
Let me see if I can pull up a photo of this so that people can see it, because it's absolutely gorgeous. Let's see. Let me not.
And I may not have sent it to you, but we do have a YouTube channel which shows.
Oh,
We did a lot of collaborations with YouTube teams where they go out and they show you how to get there and what exactly there is to do, from snorkeling to spear fishing to deep sea fishing to flats fishing.
wow.
Or if you just want to enjoy the spa, we have a full spa. We have a full gym. We have basketball courts for the kids. We provide bicycles for the kids. We have a tennis court. We have a little activity center where on the weekends we have the kids do crab racing, bingo nights. There you go. Yeah.
There we go. There it is. Beautiful.
Yeah. So those are all the cottage buildings. We have about 6 units that are 2 bedrooms, and 6 units that are there's 2 beds to a unit. And then we have
Wow.
3 restaurants on property, and they all have a little different feel. One's like a fine dining restaurant, sit down restaurant. The other one's on the beach, which is, you're just next to the pool, hanging out, having frozen drinks. And then we have one next to the marina, which is like the late night. So we try to keep that away from the room so that they can have at it on that side of the marina.
That's awesome. I might have to do one of those videos on my YouTube channel. I'm down for that.
And then in the marina, in this picture, which is great because you can see the basin and the entry. So if you're looking at that inlet right there,
Yeah.
straight out is Stewart. If you go straight after that.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see a little speck over there.
And for the boaters, we have 63 slips, up to 120-foot vessels. We have water, electricity, fuel. We provide ice. We have laundry facilities for the sailboaters or people that are staying on their boats. We have wash facilities. It's a pretty fun place. It's very unique.
Yeah.
You see this turquoise water in the foreground here at the bottom.
Yeah.
All of that is between 1 and 6 feet at the deepest. And there's tons of top fishing. You could catch snapper I had a friend who caught a 20-pound snapper. He saw something in the water, handed me his beer, said, "I'll be right back. I got to go see what's going on." 5 minutes. Came back.
BRB.
Yeah. Hold my beer, and and he came back with a 20-pound snapper, and we cooked it that night, cleaned it up, cooked it, and it was amazing. Um,
Wow.
so you could do all that, and there's tons of snorkeling. There's conch. There's all types of cool little fish that the kids like to hang around over there. And then if you look behind at the top where you see all the blue, uh,
Yeah.
that you can get into 1,000 feet of water probably within a mile or so, and now you're deep sea fishing, and you're trying to catch some big boys.
Wow, that's insane. So let's talk about that then, where you're talking about the boaters, the private boaters who are coming in. Let's talk about the restrictions. So
Sure.
who is allowed to come right now? And with COVID going on, I mean, that's obviously the point of this call, is like updating people on what is those differences in travel now, because it's changed the travel industry so much in a very dynamic way. I know we're going into different phases now, so maybe if you can enlighten us on what those phases are and what is required to be able to travel to the Bahamas.
So as of July 1st, everybody's able to travel as long as they're on private vessels or private airplanes.
Okay.
Which again, highlights like the Sky Blue or people that have their own boats, because they get to come over, and it seems like people are a lot more comfortable doing that because they're with their close friends. They're not, in this huge public space going through huge public areas with a bunch of people. But come July 15th, then they'll have the commercial aviation and commercial vessels able to bring in people. Now, in order to get in, everybody needs to have a valid COVID test within the past 7 days. That just came out a few days ago. Um, with a negative test result, you also have to go online and make sure that you fill out a health card, and that you have that health card with you when you come to port or come into the airport. We're working with us, specifically Old Bahama Bay. We're working with a organization called islandfastpass.com. We've been working with them for about a year now, trying to work out the kinks, but right now it looks like it's being very fluid the way they're working with people. They facilitate all of this. So if you never come over, or maybe you have, and you know that it takes about an hour and a half to fill out the paperwork to get in when you have 5, 6 people with you, they're going to help you do all that stuff. All you got to do is send them your information. They take care of that stuff. They meet you at the dock, and then they make sure that you get cleared really quickly and all your people are okay.
Wow.
So we're trying to be proactive about how to make it even easier for people to come over. How we're trying to make it less confusing, so that we're up to date on the rules and regulations, and you just worry about coming over and having fun.
Absolutely. And I think that's really important. That's a great service to be providing, and just making it as easy as possible. I know that educating people on what is to be expected is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So is there anything in regards to masks over there that are being implemented? Since that's a kind of a hot topic right now.
They did just put out something. Well, first of all of them, we were one of the first in the entire nation, but definitely the first on Grand Bahama Island to be compliant of all their COVID procedures and guidelines. All of the employees are wearing masks. We have plexiglass in all the common areas. We have areas for people to be able to sanitize on their own, and also have employees out there sanitizing as much as we can. We partnered up with a company, Environmental Manufacturing Solutions, that provides non-toxic sanitation chemicals. Sanitizing. What am I looking for? Sanitizer. And they manufacture all that, so we're shipping that over to make sure that we have plenty to be able to clean all the areas and the restaurants. We're also doing the half capacity at the restaurants. People do have to wear masks, but it's not as how can I say it? They don't have to wear masks everywhere. If you're on the beach, you're not wearing a mask.
Okay, that makes sense.
You go into the front desk, it'd probably be good for you to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And in general, that's how it's probably going to look like, especially this weekend. We're really excited this weekend. We're at 96% occupancy for this weekend from the boaters, which is huge.
Wow.
I mean, we're looking so forward, and we're so appreciative of these people because they've been trying to come over for a while, and these are like the diehards that just, it's kind of like when Disney opens the floodgates, these people are
Yeah.
waiting, and they love the Bahamas, and we can't thank them enough for picking us to be the place that they come to, because they there's a lot of people that I see on this side of the water, and they come up and they hug me and they say, "Oh, how you doing? How's everything going?" So it's pretty cool. But in the end, I guess what I'm saying is we want to keep everybody safe. We want to make sure that we're complying with everything that the Bahamian government tells us to, and then some, and then be a little bit more proactive at the same time.
Absolutely, and that's important. I think that that's great that you guys are doing that, and it sounds like you guys have it all good. So, and it's crazy because now it looks like, because before COVID happened, everybody was, doing travel like normal with going on those commercial planes and such like that. I feel like people would be more willing to travel by a commercial plane to get somewhere. But now, even in here, because you live locally here on the Treasure Coast, a lot of people are starting to travel, whether it be private travel, so private plane or private boat to the Bahamas, but even just by car, like here locally, people are like taking road trips places instead of, going on those commercial flights where there's so many people. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome that you guys are almost at capacity for this weekend coming up, because now there's all that influx of private boaters. I wonder if there will be a spike in like how many people actually get a boat now.
I would imagine so, because that actually, if you think about it, that frees up a lot of discretionary income that they were using to fly wherever they were flying and pay for whatever they were paying, and now they can kind of use that money for a boat and housing the boat and taking care of it. And that was
interesting. I'll have to reach out to a boater or something like that, or like maybe like a boat club, because I don't know if the local boat, I know there's like Freedom Boat Club and stuff like that, so maybe there's.
But you know what we do get? We get like, for instance, Contender is a boat manufacturer, and they'll get groups, and all of a sudden we'll have 20 Contender boats, and they have these rendezvous, they call them, whether it's Contender or Grady White or whatever it is. It's kind of like cars, like people are into Chevy or Ford, and they all get together for like this club, and they all hang out, and they all and they do it once a year, and we get to see them, and it's really cool because it might be a brand new Contender owner that's never owned a Contender or even came across the Bahamas, but now Contender says, "Hey, by the way, we have this group that's coming over. If you've never been, this is a great opportunity for you to know how to get there. You can follow somebody, you can go as a team, so that they're not so worried about coming across." And then that other person may have been over 10 times, or they may have been over 2 times a year for 10 years, and they really know the waters, and they really know how to get over there, and they kind of mentor the next guy coming up. And it's really, those communities are really cool. I never was a part of that, but it's really cool to see how they interact together, and how they bond even, and how they just help each other. It's really cool.
Yeah, there definitely is a boater community. I mean, the best thing to have is a friend with a boat, right? So because we all know what BOAT stands for, break out another 1,000. But having friends that have had boats and going on the boats locally, even to the sandbar and stuff. I mean, there's just like a camaraderie with it all. Like you wave to everybody who you see passing on the boat. I could see it being even more, just kind of like, I could see it being even more so with the people that come to the Bahamas, and like they're all like, that's like their little private thing. Like maybe they have like a private boat thing. Who knows? I'm not invited because I don't have a boat. But
and then you dial it in a little bit more, like we all own a Contender boat and we're in the Bahamas.
Exactly. It's like a niche.
Yeah,
a little niche.
And then they all tell each other that wherever they went fishing, there was no fish.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst thing. I used to date a fisher, and he literally, I was like, we just wait. We would just be like walking down, and he'd be like, "Oh look, there's bait." Like, "Oh, you see that bait?" And I'm just like, You mean the pretty water? Yeah. I'm sure it's just as worse. Yeah. Oh, how did your fishing go? Oh, there was nothing. That's funny. That is hilarious. And I'm sure the fishing down there is I mean, just like you were talking about earlier, that snapper.
Yeah, that snapper. I mean, because we're on the tip of West End Grand Bahama, we're at the very end. We call it where the road ends. You can be in 1,000 feet of water, or you can be in 6 foot of water within 10 minutes.
So it's very dynamic, options that you have if you have a boat out there.
I've been spear fishing where we're spear fishing 20 foot of water, and we get a beautiful mutton snapper and just come back, and it's like it's an intense experience because one, you're out there in the middle of the water, and you're coming back up with a fish, and then 20 minutes later you're sitting next to the pool waiting for them to cook your fish, cook your catch, and you're just sipping on an awesome cocktail.
So do they do that for you there?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, yeah. Unfortunately, I've never been to the Bahamas. Not yet. I mean, now that I know you, I'll probably go. I've been meaning to go for a long time, but I've never been to the Bahamas. And I mean, that water just, oh gosh, I just want to be in that water right now. Yeah. But I think that it's like, that's really cool. I didn't know that they just, whatever you cook. I mean, I guess I could have guessed that, but I wouldn't have thought of it like right off the bat. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna do it for me.
Awesome, because you come back and you clean your own fish because you're fishing, so you should clean your own fish. They won't clean it for you, but then you come back over, you clean your boat, clean the fish, come back over. You ask for a drink and you said we'd like it blackened. They'll make the whole thing for you. What would you like for sides? Oh, we'll take some mac and cheese and rice, and boom, all of a sudden you have this huge spread and you're eating like amongst friends, and now you have a few drinks. Now it's getting fun, and and then the night carries on, and you're on island time, and it's beautiful.
Island time sounds great. Better than work time. That's hilarious. So, really quick, I want to kind of go over what's the structure of the Bahamas, like how. So you said you're on West End, so the Bahama Bay Resort is on West End. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's the west end of the island, I would think. So how is it like? So is there another resort in the East End, or like how how many islands are there?
Well, there's I think somewhere around 26 inhabited islands, big islands. Okay. Where you have there may or may not be a resort right now because of Dorian, so there's still people that are still trying to get back, especially in the Abacos and that area. For us, we have our island's pretty much back up and running. I don't know who's not compliant at this point because we've had about 15 days. But we have several. Our island stretches from tip to tip. It's probably about 30 miles, and there's small to large resorts in between and all the way over to the East End, where in the very east end, it's known for fishing lodges where people go over there to bone fish and do that type of stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
And then even then you get this the East End versus the West End. It just has a totally different flavor. Both of them are fun. Both of them are, but you just feel like, I kind of feel like I'm on a different island now. But it's really cool on both sides. And then, all the different other islands, mainly like the one that most people know of is Nassau. Where Atlantis is and all that stuff. And that's kind of the big city. If you want to go to Atlantis, where they have casinos and, this huge, crazy looking
water slides or something like that. Right?
If you want to go to Vegas, Bahama style, that's it. If you want to experience, quaint, more like a Nantucket type of thing, where it's very, very close, and you can, you end up meeting the people. You can go into our little village where people are hanging out and, serving up fresh conch salad, and on Sundays they have it's kind of like the party day over there in the afternoon. Everybody comes over and hangs out. I hear music playing all the time. So ours is a little bit more quaint, and it's more cozy, I would say. Like everybody
Yeah.
wants to say hi and get to know you and hang out and tell
I
you
like
about
that.
them.
Well, it's like the difference, of going to Miami here in Florida or coming to Stuart, Florida or Johnson Beach. Like, I
Right.
think that people in our area would really appreciate that exact type of lifestyle over there.
Yeah.
Or going to Key West or going to, there's Key West and then there's, all the other keys that
Right.
everybody thinks
Tell
about.
them about it a little bit. You're close
Yeah.
enough.
And you guys are the closest island, you said, correct?
Well, we're the most western island, but actually Bimini is the closest island, and that's the
Okay.
closest island to Miami. We're the closest island to Palm Beach is in the Treasure Coast.
Okay. So that makes sense.
So it kind of gets divided out. Like if you go south of Lake Worth, everybody kind of gravitates towards the boaters. Anyways, they gravitate towards Bimini and that type of area. And then you go Lake Worth north, and everybody kind of gravitates towards us as the first stop.
Well, that makes sense why the culture is like that there. You know what I mean? Like, I know the Bahamians are different, obviously, but the people that are going there, if everybody's trying to, like, it's the culture type of thing, is because north of north of Lake Worth, I'm saying Palm Beach, north of Lake Worth is like all of us, and it's not the craziness of Miami, which I'm glad they're not there, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's cool, man. A lot of people, what they'll do is, the boaters, if depending on what type of boat they have, but a lot of times they'll stop by our place, hang out for a day or two, and they usually have a week planned, and they'll go and hit all the little. They kind of go island hopping, and then come back, and then stay at our place for their last night, and then come back home. So it's pretty cool what they do. They do poker runs. They do all types of stuff. This weekend, we actually happen to have a band that is coming from Orlando that plays at Disney Springs by the name of Dre C. And they're going to come over and have a concert on the beach. So we do Junkanoo, which is the like a typical dance, it's a Bahamian dance. And they come out with drums and trumpets and whistles, and they have all these ornate costumes that are colorful, and I mean, you can feel it in your chest when they're coming by with those drums and everything. And
wow.
we have that so that everybody can join in, and the Junkanoo group even brings in some costumes, so people that are hanging out, they can throw on a costume and start whistling and jumping in and dancing around. But directly after that, we're having a concert on the beach for 4th of July. It'll be really cool.
That sounds really cool. And I think that, by the way, if anybody watching has any questions, feel free to ask. Sergio and I are here to answer any questions. So I think I've seen that before with, as you said, the sister. Well, I don't know if it's a different dance, but the sister city is Jensen Beach, and when they have Pineapple Festival.
Oh, you're right.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah, that's something.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, so they like go around and it's super fun. It's always like it's always eye catching, and everybody is like, "That's so cool." It's like
Right, yeah.
little thing. That's awesome. So it sounds like it's a great culture down there. I'm super excited to check it out one day. So we'll have to stay in touch, Sergio.
I hope so. I hope it's soon.
Yes. Well, yes, definitely. And so I know you talked earlier about, this is probably the last thing, unless you have anything else you want to mention. So we talked about phase 1 and 2, I believe, right?
Right. Yeah.
So this is going into phase 2, July 1st, which is tomorrow, which is anybody traveling, by private travel, whether it be private plane or boat, is able to come. Or I guess if you want to swim.
We have people that come over in jet skis.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't do it, but we have plenty of people that do it.
That I might be able to afford a jet ski.
They'll come over like 4 jet skis, and they have an extra can of gas, and they just
living the life right there.
And they hang out.
That's funny. So what's the phases after that? Are there phases like phase 3, 4?
We're you know, what we're hoping for is that, you know, all this gets under control, and then everybody feels, the Bahamian government feels safe enough to allow you to travel freely into the country without the COVID test.
Okay.
That's the next step, really, is for the COVID test requirement to be lifted. Once that's lifted, I think that we'll all be able to say that we're in a good place.
Okay, so then for now, you're probably in phase 2 for a while, where it's just going to be private people coming over.
And phase 2, remember that'll allow commercial planes to come over, but you'll still have to have that requirement of being able to proof of a COVID test.
Okay, so phase 1 was private.
Yeah.
Private planes and boats, and then phase 2 is those people and commercial planes, but
Correct.
with the objection, I can't speak. With the requirement that you're going to need a COVID-19 test 7 days prior.
Yeah, and we also have you'll also be able to do. There's a few options for you on vessels like the Balearia, and that's usually about $200 or so for them to be able to come over on the vessel. And
the smaller vessels, right? Yeah, the smaller cruise ships.
Yeah, that one's like a fast ferry, and it's pretty cool, especially in the summertime. You can travel over on it, you know, with a few friends, and it stops in Freeport. You can either hire a cab or rent a car and shoot over, and it takes about 20 minutes from the port to get to us. So it's just a different way of traveling. It's kind of cool because I mean, they'll even allow you to bring on your car if you know, obviously you have to pay for that, but it's a free. So you can bring your car on, you can bring your kayak, or, you know, maybe you're a kayak fisherman, or you like to paddle board, you know, you bring your own paddle board, even though we provide kayaks and paddle boards for our guests.
You have to buy them.
No. We provide all types of stuff. Yeah, we provide.
What? Did you guys hear that?
we do rent fishing kayaks, which are, you know, the
fancy ones.
You know, but we have regular kayaks. You can come over, and we have regular kayaks that you just go to Activity Center. We sign it out for you, and you can go kayak. We just tell you don't go that way because you'll get sucked out. But definitely go the right side. And then we have paddle boards, we have snorkel equipment that we allow people. We have basic fishing gear. You know, we try and really have the basic needs for anybody that's maybe never kayaked before.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Maybe they never fished in that area, and, you know, we'll just tell them, all right, just go down that way, and here's some conch slop for you to go try out and see. Hopefully you catch some, but split it with me when you get back.
There you go. That's the catch. If you catch anything good, you gotta give me some.
Yeah, even the spa is amazing. Like, if you wanted to, you could order a beach massage. You can have your nails done in the room. You can.
Well, that costs money.
That does cost. That's not but it's still pretty cool to have the option.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I think it's valuable that you guys provide those water activities that people would want to do, especially with the water there. I mean, that you guys provide that already. I think that's something that brings you guys above the notch. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we like I said, we're really appreciative of everybody that makes a trip over. We know that, you know, we have to provide even better service, even more personal service than, you know, the Atlantis, who's able to show all those shiny windows. So we make sure that we're there for the people that show up to see us. They may be flying from Oregon, and, you know, they have 2 bags. So and they may like to go fishing. Well, we have a few rods for you if you want to try it.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that obviously adds to your culture that you're talking about, that everybody's just there, friendly, trying to be helpful, and just make sure that your stay is as well as it could be. So
yeah,
that sounds awesome. So speaking of this and everything,
if you're really into it, you can, we have vendors that do tours. We have guides that will do offshore fishing tours, inshore fishing tours, bonefish tours. We have a scuba operation that you can go scuba diving with the sharks. We have a guy that does an eco tour where he takes you to feed wild stingrays, and it's probably one of the craziest experiences I've had, because I've never touched the stingray before, and then all of a sudden he gets in the water, and they're like dogs coming up to him and sniffing him and touching him, and then he gives you a fish and you put it right there, and it gently takes it out of your hand, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that fear is gone, and you realize how cool this thing is. And
That's really cool.
and then he'll do some conch salad right there. It's like a little it's a key that's off the coast a little bit, maybe like 20 miles away, and he'll cook up some fish right there on the way back. He'll help you fish. Maybe you'll catch a fish on the way back, and it's just an awesome experience.
Wow, no, it sounds like it. I'm like ready to call Cherie and be like, get my private jet ready. I'm coming. Let me see us go to the Bahamas.
I hope you do.
No, I definitely will. It's been on my bucket list for a long time. I think for about 7 years, I promised myself I was going to go on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. I've been to more countries in Europe than I have the U.S. But I've been to 14 countries in 10 states since 2016. But I haven't been to the Bahamas, which is apparently only 50 miles away.
That's right.
What's Lucy doing?
You can get in a ring and get over there.
Yeah, no, I'll be over there shortly for sure. So, Sergio, how can they contact you or the resort? I know that I have let me put up your website again. Feel free to follow them on social media. They have some beautiful pictures up on their Instagram, which I saw, liked a lot of them. So check out their website. But how else can they contact you if they're interested in staying?
Well, on our website, you can definitely go on our website. In the contact, you can book right there if you just want to book. But if you want to contact us for more information, we have all our contact info on the website as well. And you can send us an email if you have specific questions to getting into the country or whatever it may be, if you want to know more about the resort, more about our specials. But I think the best way to keep track of that is our Facebook. We really try to be as communicative as we can on our Facebook page. And if you go on our Facebook page, you'll also be able to see all the chatter between people that come over a lot, and a lot of times they'll give you tips without you even asking, so it's kind of cool.
There you go.
But sales at oldbahamabayresorts.com is our reservations. If you want to come over with a group, that's where you want to contact, so that you can talk to them about group rates. Throughout the year, we have different fishing tournaments that you can look up on our Facebook also, from a Wahoo fishing tournament, the Mike Schmidt tournament, which is for leukemia lymphoma, and he's a really nice guy that does a fishing tournament every year. This year, unfortunately, we weren't able to have it because of COVID. It landed in April. But we've had a skydiving event over there where people came over, and I actually jumped out, and it was the most green and blues that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine.
It was wild. I mean, I thought I was going to die, but it was the most green and blue I've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went skydiving. That was crazy. But that was just over in Sebastian up in Florida. And I remember I was completely fine. Going up, getting in the plane, good, great, fine, excited. Then they're like, okay, are you ready? And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And I scooch over to the end of the plane, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, he's like, are you ready? And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. When you're looking down, you're
right. Yeah, no kidding.
And I was like, nope, I'm not. And then he was like, okay, we're gonna count down. I was like, okay. But as soon as you fall, it's all of that flushes away, and
yeah,
you're
floating, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's like you're a bird. I mean, we all what's that song? Fly like a bird. Yeah, what's that song? Whatever that song is. I think we've all thought about being a bird.
Yeah, definitely. I know I have.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, awesome. If anybody needs any more information on how to get into the country, islandfastpass.com. Those are our experts on making sure that you clear smoothly and easily through customs and immigration, whether you're coming in on a plane or coming in on a vessel. If you have any questions about the resort, please contact us on our website or on our Facebook. We'll be glad to help you get over there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sergio. So I have their social media on here at Old Bahama Bay. So make sure that you contact them. They are also, all of their information should be in the description of this video. So make sure that you check them out. Check out their Facebook page. It is linked in there. And yeah, so if you guys are tuning in for the first time for this Travel Tip Tuesday, I do this every week. So every Tuesday I have a new guest come on and we talk about what's going on with the travel industry and how COVID is affecting it. And Sergio, you have given us some great information about the Bahamas, which is so close to us. And I'm really excited to be able to go to the Bahamas myself, hopefully soon. So I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Again, thank you so much, Sergio.
Thank you very much. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We hope to see you over there.
Absolutely. And you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will see you guys next week.